Hello everybody, Natalie Ross here. If you don't know me, I am a holistic health practitioner and I work one-on-one with individuals to help get to the root of their chronic health issues as well as restore their gut and metabolic health. So in this video, I really want to cover the last three of my considered pillars of health. And these are quintessential to me. I didn't necessarily learn them in my full holistic institutional training, but specifically through my own life experience. I think that these are really important practices when it comes to taking care of our bodies and taking care of our minds as well. So those three principles are going to be play, love, and nature. So with that, let's get started. The first principle being play. All right, so if you have a chronic health issue, if you're dealing with a gut dysbiosis, metabolic dysregulation, when it comes to play is going to be a very, 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 in my opinion, pivotal part of our lives. You know, the way that we have evolved as a human species in our own society, I think that play has been often overlooked. Depending on what age you are, whether you're 25, 35, 45, play is necessary. Or even if you're 15, 5, whatever age you are, if we're not playing, we don't have the opportunity to release all of the stress and the expectation within our lives. Play allows us to flap our creative wings, so to speak, and to really just take a deep breath, release expectations from ourselves and from other people, and to just enjoy the passions that we have in life. You know, I think that whether you have a specific hobby or not, I think that there's always a way to find play and to utilize our own creativity to, I would say, enliven our days and to make our healing process, or even just our life in general, that much more fun and that much more worth living, in my opinion. So one of the ways I love to play is I love to paint. I love to paint, I love to sing, I love to dance, I love to hike, I love to play sports, I love to lift weights, and I love to do yoga. But I would say that even though those things, some of them are healthful practices, you could say, like moving and exercise, I think that when it comes to my intention behind it, it's really, really, really the most important aspect. So whenever you're going into a space of play, or whenever you're setting aside an hour at night to just paint your favorite scene or to watch your favorite comedy show, you're going into it releasing expectation. You're leaving the shit at the door, so to speak, and you're just forgetting the nonsense of what may have distracted you throughout the day. So that's the first principle. Can't wait to make more videos on that. But the next one is going to be nature. So nature has also been a very pivotal part of my life. As you can see, I'm in nature right now. I spend a lot of time here. And the reason why nature is such an important aspect of our lives as well as our healing process is because nature is ultimately who we are. Whether you want to believe that on a esoteric level or more of a very real and scientific level, you can understand that the elements that are making up our bodies, that make up our brains, are the same elements that make up Mother Earth and make up the rocks that you have underneath your feet, the trees in your backyard. And so when you are spending time in nature, you are very similar to play, releasing expectations, because, I mean, in my humblest opinion and experience, nature will never judge you. If anything, nature is very healing, and when we do return to more of a natural way of living, we're able to better understand not only ourselves, but the environment around us. One really awesome story too that I love to tell is about one of my dear friends. He was diagnosed with cancer, actually several years before I met him, but he essentially was at stage 4, and he got to the point where he decided to really just cut off communication with some of his family and friends. He went out to the forest out here in Washington, and he spent a month with just him and his dog, and he ultimately got to the point of remission to the point where the cancer wasn't metastasizing anymore. When he went back to the doctors after his month-long trip, he honestly didn't expect to have that kind of effect from being in nature for that long, but that story is ultimately meant to just express to you how vital natural healing can be and how vital just being in nature really is, and not only calming our body but also our mind. Overall physiology appreciates nature. And so the last principle is my third and final favorite. It's going to be love. Love, love, love. So love is grand. It's quite grand. And I look forward to going into this topic a little bit further down the line. But when it comes to love from a bird's eye perspective, you can really look at it in the perspective of self-love. Any chronic health issue, really anything that we're going through in our lives, deserves love. And the reason I say that is because when we are able to have compassion for ourselves, when we're able to have forgiveness for our own choices, for other people's choices, when we're able to have empathy for other people and empathy for ourselves, we not only raise our frequency and our vibrational standpoint, but we're also able to open up ourselves to the healing journey. We're able to have more acceptance for what we're going through and to not have as much resistance along the way. This was essential for me and remains essential for me, I think, every single day of our lives. When we come from a state of love, when we come to a state of love, we're not only able to balance ourselves and to restore harmony within ourselves to contribute back to other people, but God, we're able to share our own passions with other people, and we're able to come from a state of peace, knowing that we are restoring other people just from being who we are, from coming from a place of love. So self-love is important, but also love for other people. And having empathy and compassion, like I was saying earlier, is definitely a practice that can be learned down the line, but when it comes to stepping out of our own self-sabotaging archetypes and realizing that we're not alone on our own journeys, ever. We're never alone. I think that realizing that not only having self-love for ourselves, but also empathy and compassion for other people and what they're going through is ultimately an amazing way to really look in the mirror and have empathy and compassion for ways that we can be a better person and ways that we can better support the people around us and to better lift up the well-being of our society today. So to recap those three last principles with you today, it's going to be play, nature, and love. I hope that you got something out of these videos. This is the last video of the three-part series in the principles of restoring your health. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to personal message me. If you're watching this on Facebook, awesome. I'll also be releasing this to my YouTube channel as well. And you can always get in touch with me there. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day.